I tear the skin from the bone just to feel you.
Hunters, welcome back. This is episode 39 of the Rambles. Going on to YouTube, and this is episode 4, going on to all of your major podcasting sites. If I can be asked to upload them, I probably will. So, lead vocals, guitarists, bass players, drummers. These are some of the key elements you need for starting up a band, if you will. As you can tell, my band knowledge is pretty shocking, so just bear with me. Which leads me into my guests at this time. So today I sit down with Chris, who has been on the Rambles before, unofficially. Yeah, through test and beta phase. So welcome back, Chris. I have Jay. He's there. And lastly, we have Roger, whatever it wants to be called. And they are from Crimson Star.
Yeah.
We're so excited.
Yes. So if people have who are watching this, if they haven't guessed already, Crimson Star are the guys who do my entrance theme. But obviously I haven't been able to sort of use it yet because of COVID bollocks, unfortunately. So I decided, well, you know, I'm doing this podcast, so let me use one of their songs for my podcast intro. So, which you're going to see, which is pretty cool. I like them. Probably one of my favorite indie. Do you guys call yourself indie rock band? Because obviously it's indie wrestling.
Yeah.
Guys like me. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So Crimson Star are actually one of my favorite independent rock bands. There we go. So, how are you all doing? How are we?
Down.
Getting there. Wishing we could play a gig though.
Yeah. That'd be good.
This should be June, I think, for you guys, because you guys are in England. I think.
Well, there's a possibility of doing stuff after then, but us actually sorting some out, but we need to get sort of gig fit and stuff really, because we haven't really played. We haven't obviously been able to play together for a long time, and I've had a lot of time off playing drums in general myself recently.
Yeah.
So it'd probably be late this year if we're lucky. We find some good gigs and get some good time to practice together. That'd be good.
Be nice just to get the rehearsal room, wouldn't it? We haven't rehearsed together for a hell of a long time because we all live so far apart.
Yeah, because
the annoying thing is, at the start, just before lockdown kicked in, we had our first UK tour booked and our first festival booked for that year.
We did,
and then lockdown.
Yeah, when you got the momentum rolling, you had the momentum, and then fuck off. I don't think.
Well,
so.
it was supposed to be our year, 2020. Like, yeah, we had a new release coming out, which this was literally released, and then like I think it was like literally a week later.
It was a week later.
Come lockdown, so our tour kept getting postponed because no one had a clue, and we still don't have a clue. And then like our first ever festival, which was somewhere in Scotland, which we were really looking forward to, that just out of the water. So we really gutted, and now we just want to get back to rehearsing. Never mind gigging, just rehearsing would be nice.
Yeah, it is important to be able to just sort of, brush the cobwebs away, as they say, before you get out there. Else, shit, basically, like me, I gotta, before we get back to it, I have to go back to training and just wipe away. No, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Blow away the cobwebs before I get in that ring and doing shit. Anyway, so should we start the questions? That's why we're here.
Go for it.
Yeah, right. So first of all, I'm going to ask. I kind of know with Chris, but for the sake of, again, I'm going to want to listen to it. So everybody who comes on here, anyway, before I ask, everybody who comes on here has a story, and I like to ask. I like to listen. So Chris, for the dozens and dozens watching at home and listening. Sorry, and listening. Yeah, I can't say millions because it's not millions, and I'm not The Rock either. Chris, oh my God, how and why did you get into the music scene? There we go.
How I got into the music scene?
Yeah.
Essentially, my dad's fault. He was a drummer, played in bands, did semi-well in like the area, sort of, in some of the UK. Got played on the radio a little bit. Like, nothing crazy, but that all when you're younger and you see your dad playing and stuff, it looked really cool, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And my mum was into music as well, so I sort of was allowed to play a lot of loud rock music, and then eventually pick up an instrument. I did start with guitar for a little bit, and then I was like, nah, drums cool. I like hitting stuff, so jump on that, and then just did a few bands at school, that sort of general sort of thing as everyone does, and then I got to sort of a point where I wanted to do something a bit different, and then I managed to find these guys online, and they were looking for a drummer. They lost theirs, so that's how I ended up with this lot.
Yeah, we lowered our standard.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, because the last time you came onto Rambles, Chris, like, you know, through the beta phase, it was we spoke about that, about, you know, when you was going through with drums and playing guitar and all that. And I'd always say the one memory I have of Chris is always hear, usually on Sunday or Saturday, I think it was, I'd always hear like a drum beat going off around the street. It's like, yeah, that's Chris practicing. You'd always hear it.
You didn't live that far away then, you're around the corner.
Yeah, pretty much. But honestly, throughout the whole street, that's all you could hear. The boom, 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 or whatever, but it was cool. Jay, how did you get into the music scene?
Well, I got into music like probably most people when I was probably about 14. And I grew up with, I think it was when nu metal exploded, so it took in 2000. And that was a scene. I feel really fortunate for that, actually, because kids now ain't got crap.
No.
I think I was 15. It was a 6 weeks holiday, and I was bored. And me and my mate, who he ended up getting a drum kit. Well, I got a guitar. Well, then I couldn't play it, obviously, but I was like, yeah, let's just start a band. So from there, we were just jamming and that on absolute crap. We couldn't play. And just then, I think my first proper band was the age of 18. And I think, yeah, it was in a metal band then. And it just goes from there, just in bands constantly. You just do it for the love. You never make any money from it. I always class it as a very expensive hobby. But it's only in the last 5 years that we've started making like what I call really good music. Not just sounding like PPU influence stuff. We're starting to get our own sound. So, yeah, and I'm still doing it at this tender age now. I don't think I'll ever stop.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
pure love.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same with wrestling. Like you said, it's an expensive hobby. It is, but yeah, you do it for love, don't you? And you do it,
pure love.
And you do
like
it.
Music.
Go on.
Sorry, I was just gonna say music. It's one of them things. People have coffee in the morning or a fag. I have to put music on.
Coffee.
Yeah, it's music for me. I don't drink tea or coffee or anything like that. It's music. It's throughout the day. If we're in the house and the missus quickly pops out down the shop for 5 minutes, I'll quickly blast the song in the kitchen.
That's
got to be done.
Nice. Rog, go on.
Yeah, I started playing music in school, really. I was quite lucky. There's a big music centre there, and everybody wanted to play guitar. One of my friends had already been playing a very long time, and I was probably like second best in the school sort of thing against him at the same thing. So nobody wants two guitarists and no bass player, so I ended up playing bass. And then, to be honest with you, I only play bass now. I'm not even interested in playing guitar anymore. I think it's something different. But I met James when I was playing in a thrash metal band when I was about 17.
2006, 7?
2005, 2006, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And we were playing like proper heavy metal bands around the Birmingham scene. And we had some mutual friends, basically, didn't we? You know, a few of the guys in my band. And then I went off, we both went off and did our own things, you know. I played in loads of other bands and God knows what. And then I took about a 5-year break out from it a few years back. And then basically James just sent me a text one day saying, "Oh, do you fancy to come to play for Crimson?" Oh, I thought, "I'll go on, I'll have a go." And to be fair, you just hit it off, to be honest with you. Like, if you could see these two guys, like that, they just make me literally wet myself laughing every time because they just love taking the piss out of each other. As well as we all just love the same thing, where it's just got to be, if this isn't groovy, we ain't happy. It's hard to find other people that you can sort of gel with.
Yeah.
And as James was saying, I think it's just because we all love music.
Chemistry. You need the right chemistry.
Oh
sure.
yeah, took a long time to find that actually.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, pretty much the same as wrestling. You know, the person you're wrestling with or you team up with, you need that chemistry to be able to work together properly. And obviously, you three,
really good. Like, yeah,
you three obviously do a fantastic job. You know, I'm not trying to blow smoke out your asses or anything, but
no, do it. Go on.
Okay, yeah, amazing, absolutely amazing. I want you at my funeral. I want you at my my birth. Yeah, I think you're brilliant. But yeah. So, how did Crimson Star come about then? And how did the name come about as well?
Go on, James.
The name was a song title from a previous band I had, a thrash metal band, which Roger remember called Forlorn. Nice, happy name. Yeah, and I remember we were looking for titles for band names, sorry, and you always try and think of something really cool, don't you? But I always wanted it to be meaningful as well. And we come out with some awful names. Like I remember one was Avogadro Constant, and for like a month we were like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then you see it on a poster and you're like, oh my god, that is fucking awful. And then I don't think it was me that chose the name. I think it was the previous drummer, Russ. He just says, oh, what about Crimson Star? That sounds pretty cool. It's got a colouring. Because a lot of band names, you probably don't notice, but they've always got a colouring.
Right.
Like,
makes sense.
Probably like Pearl Jams, Metallica, metal. Loads of bands have got colours in. Honestly, look for your record collection.
I will now.
Yeah.
I was going to say Blackstone Cherry. There's loads, isn't there?
There's absolutely tons. Too many black ones there.
Yeah, there is loads of those.
Yeah. So
what's wrong with that?
No, nothing's wrong with that. It's just
no.
Names.
Oh, I know what you'll do. No, I meant like there's too many names like that, and they all sound the same. It's like, come on, be original.
Yeah.
And so he picked Crimson Star. I was like, oh, that sounds pretty good. But at the time, it was the Crimson Star because we were a different band then. It was more classic rock. But then by the time Rog joined, we got rid of the as you do. And we wanted to be a three piece then, and we wanted a big ass bass sound. And I don't think Rog had. I know he had some basses still, but I don't think he had any pedals or anything like that. And the first thing he did was spend like £1,000 on pedals because he says we want this big bass sound, and that was the first thing he did. And the first thing we did, our first jam. Well, I thought we were going to jam on like some Soundgarden covers and stuff like that. No, it was just working on new material straight away. And I realised then, this is good. No fanning about, just write music, and we still do that now. We don't do any covers. We make
some songs real quick, don't we? I think we can get through a song like couple of practices, 2 hours. We'll end up finishing 2 songs off sometimes. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, we will. Our next rehearsal back, we will. I've been busy.
Yeah.
That is going to be another question for in a bit. That is about you guys. But so Chris, going into an established band already, when you became their new drummer, was there any pressure? Did you think, oh shit, went into a band that's well established, I need to up my game a little bit, or do you think, I'm comfortable already, these guys are awesome, and what were your thoughts?
A little bit, just a thing of making sure you're getting, especially when you're playing the songs that have already been played, like written and recorded by the drummer, you want it to sort of sound as close to as you can, sort of thing. And for the live thing, it was making sure, keep the guys with a good name, sort of thing. It was more for live than anything. Because for the first time I went out and sort of jammed with the guys, technically it was only James I played with because Rog was in China for work or something.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, do you mind just coming down like without the bass player and we just have a bit of a jam? Because we've had a bunch of drummers come down and half time been a waste of time. I was like, yeah, right, yeah, cool. You can get away with guitar and drums and just see how it feels. So that kind of made it a little easier as well because there were less people to meet and
yeah.
Well,
I remember James texting me.
At the time,
we found the drummer.
Well, I didn't think anything of it because we were searching for a drummer for a good. It must have been nearly a year. Nearly a year it took us, and we jammed with some awful people. I mean, I'm a guitarist, and I'd wipe the floor with them drum wires. They were that bad. That's how bad they were. So I was like, oh, this dude from Buster's coming up or wherever, Butterland, and and I walk in the room. And he's already self. I was like, oh, bloody hell, I'm the late one. And he literally smashes it. He smashes it. And I couldn't stop laughing. And I thought he thought I was laughing at him, like being shit or something. It weren't. It was just because the amount of people that we jammed with that was so bad. Rog was in China. Trust it to be the time he's in China where we've actually got someone that's absolutely badass. And I was just like, oh, typical. I was texting him like, oh, hang on, we're jamming another one in a sec, dude. I was texting him like, dude, he's fucking brilliant. And Rod was busy in China getting corona. Oh, yeah, it's funny. I felt
so sorry for Chris, to be honest with you. Because I know what James is like, and especially with like new members. James has got this invisible whip that he likes to crack at people if they're not doing exactly what he wants them to do. And
I didn't have to tell him anything.
Chris, you ain't playing the right cymbal there, mate.
Yeah.
James, you play the drums.
He's never too bad. He's got his ideas, but it's kind of nice sometimes when you're playing something and he goes, oh, God, this idea, especially when you're writing, he sort of goes, oh, I had this idea for this drum thing. It means you haven't got to think as much sometimes. So it's quite nice just to be like, it gives you a bit of a different aspect because obviously Jay's not a drummer, but he's got really clever ideas, some of the drum rhythms and stuff sometimes.
It's when you write the music, you know, and you hear it in your head a certain way. And I love it, I do. I mean, some drummers can get arsy, like, no, I'm the drummer, I need to come up with the drums. But, you know, I can't unless we're a band, let's agree, it sounds better like that. I mean, I've said it many times before, drums can make a song. You could have the best riff in the world. The drums are shit.
Mm.
Yeah. Bye.
Sure.
Yeah. I agree, Matt, yeah.
Also helps because Jay's got a bit of a funny timing thing as well sometimes. It's almost genius because there's like half beats and stuff we jump in on and stuff. But like, it's technically, musically, it might be wrong, technically, or whatever.
Oh yeah,
it's not been nice
definitely
about
wrong.
It's definitely wrong.
Definitely wrong. It's my out of time head.
If I can't count it, mate, it's got to be out of time. I'm telling you.
But it works. Like it adds a nice little flavour to it, and it makes it a bit of a challenge for me and Rod because we're so used to being like
so straight and narrow with like on the beat all the time. James puts these weird swings into things, but it really gives it a groove. But it takes a hell of a lot of practice for me and Chris to nail it sometimes because we got to hit this note on a uncountable beat. It's just got to be groove and feel, which is
we get it.
We get it.
Well, I do anyway.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, you know, I mean, you know, it's good to be different. It's good that you add your little things into there as well because it's just all about being different. It's about being unique, and it's something very hard to come across nowadays. You know, just to be
originality. Yeah,
it's very difficult. So no, fair play. You know. So what would you say of all of the songs you've came up with and performed is out of all three of you, your favorite song out of everything? From what you've come up with.
That's all. There's some newer stuff that haven't really got names that I'm really, really enjoying.
Yeah.
They're like, it's something we've worked on more. With the other EP, it was sort of pretty much written.
Yeah.
It was written and demoed before I turned up. So it was sort of like fill in the spot. I wasn't there to play around with it. And then this newer stuff has been like, oh, maybe we should try this. And I put my own little...
Well, it's your style, isn't it now? It's no one else, it's you.
So we've got a nice new... The sound has changed slightly again. Only a little bit, but just it melds all together nicely. So there's some newer stuff that we've been working on that really like... When you're playing it, you really feel it. And we all sort of look around and you sort of think, yeah, this is really grooving. Like this is... Even though it's like really fast, but we're still there. Groove.
Yeah.
Like to me, it's like, oh, that doesn't sound like another band to me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you write a riff saying you thought, oh, that sounds just like Metallica, or that sounds like whoever. To me, when we're jamming on these new songs, I'm like, I even stop sometimes and say to them, does that sound like anyone? And they're like, no, I don't think it does. I'm like, we're finally getting our sound. It's took a long time, trust me. But finally getting it. And then, yeah, we ain't been able to do anything in a year, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. So what have you been working? Obviously, you just said you've been working on new songs and everything. So what have you been doing throughout lockdown? Elevate Crimson Star when you think can start playing again.
The tour got cancelled, obviously, so we couldn't do anything. I think the first lockdown, we just sat around for 3 months getting pissed, as you do. I think we were having like Zoom sessions like this, but drinking and stuff like that, as you do. Yeah. And then I think the studio reopened, I want to say August time.
Wasn't very long though, was it? Just a couple of months, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, and we started jamming straight away. I think we were there probably a month, and then he had to close again because of another lockdown. And that was when I was like, oh, bollocks to this. This could be another 6 months. So I went and bought myself an audio interface so I could record demos at home. Okay. And I think I've done like just demos, but 12 songs. So the boys are going to be busy when we get back in the studio. Let's just say that. Nice. I think, well, I'm going to say, but I think they sound badass. Like, they're just different from the last CD we did. Like, it's progression. I can't wait to jam with them with a band, because I know they're gonna obviously change, because it always does. But I just can't wait to get in the studio to jam on these new ideas and just bring them to life. Like, they're gonna sound amazing. And then when we record them, whoo, gonna sound awesome. Cannot wait.
Nice.
That's cool. I'm looking forward to Chris coming recording with us, like, you know what I mean, to the studio for the whole week as well, because we have such a laugh there, don't we?
Oh yeah, yeah. Can't wait. Love it. Great experience. It's as it says, it's a very expensive hobby, but man, when that song's recorded, it's mixed, it's mastered, and you hear it back, and you're like, oh, I've done that. That's me. That's us. Like, you're sometimes like, bloody hell.
No, there we are.
You can't explain it. It's like, wow, we've done that.
I kind of wish we'd done a bit more during lockdown, but to be honest, because you live so far away and you can't rehearse or anything like that, none of us are that great on, I would say, recording or anything, are we? We're all just like playing our instruments, basically.
Yeah. I got pretty decent at the demos, but they're demos, aren't they? They're basic. That's just to get ideas down. But
we couldn't make anything releasable from our houses.
Oh, no. Well, we've got pretty high standards now with recording quality. We couldn't go back. Like, there's standards in recording, but we've gone right to the top with our last 3 recordings. You know, we haven't cheapened out. And I mean, you know, if you want the results, you've got to put the money in, then, or you've got to put the time and money in. Like with wrestling, if you want the results, you've got to put the work in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like that with music. If you want a great sounding record, unfortunately, you're going to have to spend the money. There's no cheating about it. Is there, Rog?
No, we like I say, it's one of those, isn't it, where if you just want a rough demo, you can get what you want. So, like, if you're just doing it as a bit of a weak hobby, yeah. But if you're passionate and like enthusiastic about something, you might as well get a good product that you're going to be happy with. You know what I mean? Same as, like, I suppose I'm thinking about wrestling. I was like, if you went and bought some cheap gym equipment that you have to use every day, you get sick of it, wouldn't you? You're better off spending the money on the good gear if it's something that you're really passionate and enthusiastic on.
Yeah.
But, I can't wait for recording, to be honest. That's the one thing I'm looking forward to. But it might be 2025 the way we're going.
Don't say
we
that.
need some money.
Oh, that's the other problem, yeah. And a lot of
funding. We need some money.
So what people should be doing then, if they're watching this, they should donate to Crimson Star.
Just buy a T-shirt. You know,
yeah, because have you still got that bundle on your website? Go in.
We have, yeah.
Yeah,
it's still there.
So you get a T-shirt and you get the CD, I believe, and
a guitar pick for £15.
Yeah,
you know, that's nothing to some people. For a band, you know, that just goes towards. That don't go towards like us. That goes towards like future recording or more T-shirts or wherever, something like that. It's, you know, people don't. Unfortunately, people don't buy CDs now, do they? It's or
No.
it's why are we doing it, lads? Should we just knock it on the head? Why are we doing it? Why are we putting ourselves through this? We make no money. Oh.
No, well, you know, if you keep going in the direction you go in, you probably will. You more than likely will. You know, but you're on.
It's love.
Yeah,
it really is just love.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing. You know, when it's passion. You know, when you got the passion, I think that's when it becomes good. And if you sort of lose interest, that's when it just becomes bollock. And you know, putting it bluntly, that's how it is, isn't it? Really.
Well, this is a perfect example this last year where you could easily lose interest. Like if Chris or Rog would have come to me and went, I don't think I can do the band anymore, you know, this past year, blah, blah. I'd be like, you know what? I understand because we ain't been able to do nothing. And you just feel crap, don't you?
Yeah.
But we're all still here. So what does that tell you? We must be onto something decent.
So in a nutshell, you're going to come out of lockdown stronger. You're going to come out as this kick-ass band who's got new albums ready to go and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're going to come out all guns blazing and smash it.
Good.
No messing about.
Nice.
Big fit. I think it'll be play as many shows wherever and as much as we can, really, and just sort of get a name out a bit more again. Really.
Yeah, we need to get back into like gig shape. Like, I wouldn't be able to just jump around the stage now playing guitar. It would kill me. And singing, I haven't sang in so long. I mean, having to sing whilst having a drink doesn't count, does it?
Yeah.
Like when you're in, it takes weeks and probably months to get your voice proper back in shape where you can sing for 45 minutes, like 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah.
Good as well.
Yeah, I can imagine it. It's I can imagine.
It's a muscle. You've got to train it up. It really is a muscle.
Can I make a suggestion for a place to come to play? Come to Newport, Wales. As I've said to Chris many times, you need to get your ass down this way. And
I'd love to.
No problem at all.
I can come and watch you then because I can't really travel that far, but it'd be good.
What places have they got down
there? The most popular venue that has live bands and all that is McCann's Rock and Ale.
Yeah. Good venue that.
Yeah. And I know when lockdown's finished in Wales as well, I know they're going to be searching for bands to go into their pubs on weekends and all that. So might be worth. I can suggest.
Put in a good word for us, please.
Yeah, I know the person, the woman who runs it. So yeah.
Please.
I look for it.
Can only try. So obviously you're on YouTube. You got your own YouTube channel, and you got some wacky music videos. Yeah, they're entertaining. I'm not saying they're bad. They are entertaining. So how would you? So I don't know personally. How would you go from producing music to trying to put a music video together that sort of comes together? If that makes sense,
Well, the original idea was like for the band to play in an empty factory, but that's been done before to death. So we thought we'd come out, we'd try and come out
of warehouses.
Something a little bit different. And I mean, I want it to be memorable. There's so many videos I watch and it's like, you'd never watch it again. Whereas videos from say the 90s and even the early noughties, they were good music videos. Like Foo Fighters is a perfect example where you would go back and watch that video again just because it's funny.
Yeah.
And so music videos, I suppose it's another art in itself, isn't it?
Creativity.
And I think our first funny one was the dog suit one. I'm sure you've watched that. That was mental. Oh, dogging. That was our version of dogging.
It's fair enough.
I had a right laugh recording that. Very hot. Very hot.
Nice.
Jay's sort of the main idea guy for videos. Really, me and Ross chuck a few bits in, but like half time, Jay sort of goes, "Oh, I've got this bit of an idea to do this," and it's all like, "Okay, cool." And then it's like we add little bits in. But Jay's really good with that sort of side of things, anyway. But we don't want to be too serious about the video. You don't want to be stood there being like every other band. It's sort of a bit boring.
Doesn't interest me.
James, I don't know how you sold me to dress up as a dog and run around the Licky Hills, to be honest with you. It was a bit but I tell you what, we had such a laugh making it. Like, the video producer we use, Adam, he's a legend. Like, he's so funny. But imagine us trying to sell him this idea that we're going to stick a GoPro to a dog, walk down to the fields, and then we're going to be the dogs and run round. We had some strange looks from people.
Yeah.
He loved it. He says it was one of his best videos because it was just so different.
Yeah, that's the way I see. To be different, be unique.
Oh, yeah.
So, in terms of putting an album together, because you got an album, how difficult is it to come up with all these songs and just produce an album? You know, put it out to the public, and what have you got to do? What are the steps?
There's so much involved. I mean, there's writing the songs is kind of the easy part, to be honest. You know, recording it, obviously, there's that process. That's as easy or as hard as you make it, depending on how well you rehearse. But putting art to it and then trying to put some of a concept together and then come up with some weird videos. It takes a lot of doing, but then trying to get it out to the public, like getting it in publications and getting reviews and getting, you know, just on blogs and playlists. It takes a significant amount of time, to be honest. And
money.
Yeah, and a lot of money. If you want to pay a PR agency, I tell you what, that ain't cheap.
Has it benefited you though?
No.
Sometimes.
It can, like, a View EP, we had rave reviews for that.
Hundreds, yeah.
And we sold quite a lot of them. And then, like, just as we were getting the good gigs where people were asking us to play, not us, like, oh, can we play that? They were asking us. Our drummer quit. So, yeah. We've had pretty shit timing with members leaving, and, yeah.
Still plodding on.
Still plodding on.
Yeah.
So it'll come together soon. It'll come together.
Yeah, I think you just need to get your momentum going again.
Yeah. I think, yeah. If you build it, they will come.
I'd say we've got a few gigs like in the bag to a degree, haven't we? Where as soon as it is open again and these things will be arranged. I mean, there's unfortunately there's some other festivals that we might have been able to play that just aren't going to go ahead. So, and I think the competition is going to be really, real tough to get onto some of these things in the coming years because people are playing catch up.
Every band's going to want it now, aren't they?
Every gig,
But I'm hoping what sets us apart that our music's frigging good. So we need to like write some badass tunes, like a badass album, record it. We don't have to release it straight away, but I'm just hoping that'll be the thing that sets us apart. And they'll be like, you're playing then, you know, not just any old joke band, whatever.
Yeah.
Music has set us apart.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have my support. I know. Obviously, I can't really do much, but you'll have my support as always. You know. But yeah,
I'm just glad you like the song.
Me too. When I first came across you guys, obviously, I'll be honest, it was because of Chris. And you know, I listened to the song. So I just remember saying to him, I wanted something. I wanted an entrance song, but I didn't want the basic generic bollocks copyright free shit. I didn't want any of that. I wanted just something that kind of meant something to me, and then ideally something. A band that I know someone from. So obviously I know Chris. I was like, so I got on the phone to Chris saying, any songs, send me some songs and I'll see if it's okay with you guys, can I use it as my entrance? And yeah, I found one and I was like, yes, I am going to be using that, which is also the intro to my cast now. The name of it, I don't know how you pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try. Begins with P.
Pragmatist.
Sorry?
Pragmatist.
Yeah, that big word. Yeah, I'm shit with big words. My vocabulary is shit. But yeah, that is one of my favorite ones, and I must have listened to all the songs you've came out with that are on Spotify. I must have listened to them for weeks and weeks on repeat. Just, it's not something I would do because I'm quite close-minded. I will admittedly say I tend to listen to just Metallica, Corey Taylor, Miles Kennedy, and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, found your songs, badass. And you should, just awesome, all around awesome. Again, blowing smoke asses again.
No, thanks, dude. It's nice to hear sometimes, that, because we're all so passionate about it. Like, and if we're not happy with the song, we it's not finished, basically. We've got so many that are sort of 3/4 of the way through as well, that we just kind of gone, we don't really know where to go with. It's just good to hear that somebody's really enjoyed the tracks as well, you know what I mean? Because we put so much time and work into them.
Yeah. I suggest that anybody, again, watching this, go and search Crimson Star on Spotify, YouTube, and give them songs a listen, because they are really fucking good. You're missing out if you haven't listened to them. But so advice. So I'll come to all three of you individually. So Chris, I'll come to you first. What advice would you give to somebody or people who are trying to form a band? What advice would you give to them? If that made any fucking sense, actually, because that sounded
Don't do it.
No, do it.
Save your money, man.
Sort of starting a band, sort of thing. Obviously, if you're young enough and you're at school or whatever, just try and find the best, guitarist or singer or whatever out of the group. What you need for your band. Obviously, what you're not playing. Just try and get a couple of the best ones that are doing all the music stuff. Try and grab them early, because that will just help you progress as well as a musician. And just looking for people that really enjoy the same music you do, really, because then that's where you can find a bit of your own sound and just have fun. A lot of the times when I was young, I was just playing covers with my mates in my attic, and then after sort of ran out of school stuff and people were moving on and doing other things, even with Cast of Flames, we played at one of your wrestling shows, actually.
Yeah.
Even then, we were on the old internet searching for guitarists. We found a couple of guys and found some really talented guys that they don't really even play that much anymore, surprisingly. And they were like incredible, and they were younger than us. I think the guitarist was 16 when he joined the band, and we were all like 18 odd, and he was like insane as a lead guitarist, ridiculous. And he's sort of giving it up a little bit now, and the bass player was a mentor as well. But you get some people get busy with their lives and stuff, but if you
learn a lot from really good musicians, don't you? I totally agree. If you find some good people, like, it's so good. You just learn so much stuff really quickly by playing with. There's always more talented people out there, isn't there? But
exactly, and it's just, even though they're playing different instruments than you, like, you can learn bits off each other. I think
it makes you better. It makes you up your game, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. So, and my advice is try and find some of the best people you can. Don't necessarily settle for someone that's decent because you know them or something.
Yeah.
Unless you really want to do it as like a rehearsal room, and you're not going anywhere else. Because as soon as you come to gigging, you don't want to be having someone that's half-assed about it. Because if they're not as talented as you or whatever, then they're probably not putting as much effort in practicing wise. So you come to a gig and it all fall apart in you, and you'd be like, oh, fucking hell, don't want to do that again.
Or you could be in a band called Chimp on a Bike.
Yeah, you could do that as well. Yeah.
That's old school friends jamming, and it's fun.
We're all good players, and we haven't stopped yet. So
yeah. Last time I seen you guys, it was brilliant. That was like 2018, I think, something like that. Crazy.
That was when we were doing like Swiftway, though, wasn't it?
No, that was when you did the Wheat Pieces pub Christmas. I'd done a show, and then I came up after.
Yeah. I was jumping about. That's just we covers band that keeps me a bit of extra shape and a little bit of beer money and a bit of a laugh. Makes it a bit closer. They don't really want to they're not necessarily pushing to do original sort of stuff, and that's why I branched out and looked for. I found the Crimson guys because they were doing original material and they wanted to get out and gig and do that sort of thing. Not necessarily looking for stardom or anything. It'd be nice if it fell upon us, but my sort of dream would be just to be in a band that is self-sufficient, as in you're selling enough CDs to make more CDs.
Yeah.
Consistent.
Yeah, that's a big enough dream for me. You can do it's a hobby that's not really costing you any money, and you get to go around gigging and you're covering your costs. Happy days sort of thing.
We have some fun.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all about the memories, making memories.
My advice for young people playing: at first, do it for fun, just have fun. But if it's something you're passionate about and you do actually want to follow, don't just stick around your own town just because it's comfortable. Do what Chris has done, which you got to say, fair play, Chris. That's some balls. That just to turn up. How far is Gloucester from Birmingham? You wouldn't walk it, would you? And you just turn up to jam with a band. I don't think I could do that. I mean, I don't think if there was a badass band down Gloucester, I'd probably be too lazy to go, fuck that. But he was just like, nah, I'm going to do it. That takes balls. Not many people to do that. But then, all the bands you like say Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, because of how big America is, it's like you hear stories of them, like how they met, I had to drive 200 miles to rehearse, and you're like, God, and I won't drive to Wolverhampton to where Rog lives. It's like, we're spoiled when in the city centres, I think. That's what it is.
Definitely, because there's so many musicians.
Exactly, yeah.
I think the other thing to say from what you just said is, do you know what? Find some people that you click with and get on with. That's really important as well.
That was my next point.
There's enough fighting, there's enough problems, and there's enough arguments to have with people in your life as it is. You don't want to go into a room where you're doing something you really enjoy and start having a bad time. Like, I think we laugh at practice as much as we play music most of the time, and I think having that, just being comfortable, really, isn't it, in the rehearsal room? You're free to try whatever you want, like, you know what I mean? Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, sort of thing. Just do what you enjoy. Don't try and copy a band just because they're making millions of pounds. Just do something that you really enjoy doing, and sod what anyone else thinks about it.
Do you remember when we were looking for a drummer and we said personality is a big one? Obviously, you've got to be good at drums, but if you're an arse, you could be the best drummer in the world. If you're a complete prick, sorry, mate. And back to talent, there's so many talented guitarists out there that are absolutely amazing, but they can't write their own name. Never mind a song. It's like, so maybe don't be fussy about just play with the best people. Maybe not. Sometimes, you'll be surprised. They might not be as good as a guitarist, but they can write some stuff.
It's true.
That was my experience anyway. I mean, your previous band, Rog, the lead guitarist was phenomenal, but he didn't write the music, did he?
No, like I say, absolutely phenomenal guitarist, but I'd say the majority of the music, he obviously had inputs, as everyone does. But
obviously, yeah. But, the main
not predominant music.
The main base of the song was the rhythm guitarist, and you lot. It's
just, I don't know, it's different, isn't it? But every band's kind of different, isn't it? But it's one of those, the ones that I've enjoyed the most are the people that I get on with, to be honest with you. Because I've played in bands where I don't really like the people, but I've enjoyed the music. But then I've done the opposite as well, where it's and I think the people, you spend so much time together, you got to travel together, you sleep in the close vicinity, you eat at the same times, at the same places, and sometimes the journeys ain't exactly comfortable, are they? I mean, I don't know if you've seen our YouTube videos, because we recorded a few outings.
I've seen a few of them, yeah.
And literally, that isn't made up for the camera. That's, to be fair, we've had to edit quite a lot out because it gets a bit scripted sometimes. But that's just us. And I think because we turn up just having a laugh, it just makes it better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To be fair, Roger's probably done the most amount of sort of touring and stuff out of the three of us, really, because one of his bands was pretty bloody well, really. To be fair to him, he's got a few stories behind him, really.
Yeah, there's a few, but I'd say, but it is important, though, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, if we had to sit in that van for 4 hours and none of us could have a laugh and take the pee out of each other, or God knows what we talk about, some rubbish. And I didn't realise how much rubbish we talk until you have to sit and watch 4 hours of video footage you did on the way to Blackpool.
That was a quick trip to Blackpool. We got them back. I didn't feel like, because we were having a bit of a laugh and messing about it, it didn't feel like a long.
It doesn't, does it? Yeah, it soon shoots by. I can't wait to shoot the next one when we actually get to get back to rehearsal. It's going to be really good, and I think it's.
Oh yeah.
We're trying to be different because we're just trying to show people what it's like, what it really is. You know what I mean? Like, let's not falsify, make it sound we turn up and there's God knows what. Like, no, you turn up, you got nothing. You got to pay your own way there, and but just enjoy it on your way there, innit? Basically, just.
There's no posing for the cameras or anything like that. This is what it's really like being in a unsigned band.
James, definitely. Everyone was a bit uncomfortable to begin with, and now I think everyone forgets.
And then you realise, and then you forget it's there, don't you? It's weird, yeah.
Nice. There's some good advice there. Well, that's it from me. That's my questions. They didn't have any fan questions because they're a bunch of assholes. I'm joking. Usually I get fan questions, but obviously I guess most of my subscribers are all wrestling fans, so they wouldn't really know what to ask musicians. But, so I do apologize about that. But no, it's been great having you on. You know, it's been different for me because, like I said, I normally have wrestlers on. So to have a band on, that means something to me as well. It's nice. It was nice to talk to you all. Obviously, known Chris for a very long time, way back. It's good to meet you, Jay. I haven't.
Yeah, you too, man.
Not even spoke to you over social media or anything. You know, it's good to actually see your face, Rog. I know we've spoken a little bit over Instagram, but that's about it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yes, this was lovely, and
hopefully we'll be playing Newport soon. Then put a good word in for us. We'll come down and play for you.
That'd be good. Yeah, that would definitely be awesome. Yeah. So, so obviously Crimson Star. They are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and listen to their stuff on Spotify, and go and watch their wacky videos on YouTube. So
buy the merch.
Yes.
Hashtag buy the merch.
Buy our shit.
Yeah, they need beers. They need things and stuff, and yeah, they do condoms and stuff because that live in the. I don't know. That was awkward. Anyway. That's a nice end. So that's been Chris, that's been Jay, that's been Raj, I've been the beer drinking, heavy metal listening, bald headed board of CueBall's. Thank you all for watching and listening. Subscribe, follow, no matter bullshit on my account and on their accounts. Stay safe, stay safe, stay positive. #, yeah.